What's going on, Duelist? It's Darius with the Game State, and today I'm here back at TNJ's Collectibles with the homie Kevin
Yes,
going
sir.
undefeated with Traptrix, man. Traptrix still being relevant, looking a little bit better than Labyrinth today, I'll tell you that. All right, what's going on, Kevin, man? How you been?
Not much, man. Doing good today. How about you?
All right, man, I'm doing pretty good. What were the matchups today, man?
Round one was Sword Soul. To be honest, the guy misplayed. He summoned Apple Dragon and forgot his synchro for 10. He had Bashoon and Apple Dragon, forgot his synchro summon. I was like, all right, I guess. And then round two was Cashtira. Droll was a clutch card. Without Droll, I don't think I would have won that. Guy break the Negator Prosperity. And game three was against my friend Joshua. He played Sprite. He Ibly locked me game one, but game three I was able to have the outs so I wouldn't get Ibly locked. And it went pretty smooth today.
All right, man. Without further ado, let's dive right into the deck profile.
Right. So, 3 Mantis, 3 Rakopa, pretty standard. 3 Murmello, 2 Purka. I don't run 3 Purkas because as you can see, I run the field spell at 2, and honestly, there have been games where I've drawn multiple copies of Purka, and honestly, I don't want to see that because once you use a normal summon for Purka, if you have another one in hand, it's kind of dead. You kind of rather use it for the banish effect. 2 Dianea, same goes for Dianea. She has a really good normal summon effect, but like also drawing multiple copies in hand. You don't want to see that either. You mainly use her for a special summon effect. And then 2 Parallel Exceed. I don't use 3 because after you use the first one, the third copy is kind of dead. It's not needed. And 1 Lady Labyrinth. This card is really good. Helps you push for game. Helps you set another trap. I'm thinking of running this card bump up to 2, but I have to test it out and it might be a bit of a brick. But pretty standard. 3 of these, but 2 of these because if I see multiple of these in hand, then it's not really good. I want to see multiple different names, not the same names. For board breakers, just evenly. For hand traps, Imperm, go to card, best card we have, or hand trap, doesn't play into talents. Ash, I still think as long as Despia is around, I think Ash should still need to be main deck just due to the fact that Branded Fusion, you don't want that to resolve. Ghost Ogre, this didn't really come up today because honestly, I played like more more decks from the previous format rather from the current format. So, but I think with the new format, Ghost Ogre isn't the necessity to pop like scales or pearly cards. 2 Drolls. I should probably just bump it up to 3. I don't know why I have it at 2. There's one in the side deck currently, but I should just bump it up to 3 because this card, honestly, as a rogue player, you really need this.
Best hand trap.
Best hand trap. Honestly, best hand trap in the. This is the best hand trap in the current format right now. Best one ever. I'm gonna honestly bump it up to 3. That's all for hand traps. Traps, 3 Holoteas, the best card in your deck. You need it. 2 Gravediggers. I think this is good because usually either they'll try to gamma you or nib, and you'll probably use their Fleesia to send a trap hole, and it won't get basically you won't get nibbed or gamma. And it's good to have the second one because you want the second one so on their turn, if they have something in their hand, graveyard or banish, which I've noticed happens a lot, you always want the second one just to have it. One to stop basically them gammaing you or nibbing you, and the other one just to have it as a trap hole. I won't run Floodgate Trap Hole, but I plan on bumping that up to 2 because honestly, this trap is really good. And specifically against Cashtira because that's what also helped me win the game against Cashtira because I booked his Rice Heart and he really couldn't play past that because he couldn't summon Unicorn. He didn't have access to Birth. And honestly, I'm going to bump this up to 2. It's a really good trap. I run Trap Hole. This came up not at all, really. I plan on cutting this one for a second Trap Hole because it's good, but like you have to pay life points, and it's just like when they already summoned the monster, they probably already activated the effect, so I don't think there's a point in it. And 1 Whole Nightmare. This I think it's just good in general. I think every deck list should just have one of these because it's just good to have. Just a special summon negate. And then 2 field spells. Most people just want run. I think you should run 2 because Gamma is ran in basically every deck right now. And if you get Gamma and you have nothing to follow with that, like a Exceed and a Even if you have a Rakampa, you'll be locked. So I think I actually want to bump up Garden to 3 because I think anything that gives you an additional normal summon that lets you play past through more interruptions is good. But I'd have to test it out and see how it works out because I don't want to draw multiples and break. And in Pudica, if I put this at 3, I might put Pudica down to 1, but I'll see how that goes. For a side deck, 3D barriers, pretty standard, good against SPS, Sword Soul, whole family. I haven't really used this against Cash because it turns off mine, but I think I'm starting to use it. Anti-spell, this card's broken, honestly. This card has helped me win many games against branded Sword Soul, Kashtira. They can't activate their fields, but they can do Theosis. Specifically, they can also do Talents or Thrust, so I think Anti-spell will just stay as a busted card. 3 Solemns because this deck loses very hard to evenly match. If you evenly match this and you have nothing for it, then your opponent just breaks your board and you lose. 2 Dark Rulers because most decks don't make Dark Rulerable boards, but sometimes there are decks that do make just like a shit ton of negate boards, also with like super heavy. But if they have Spell Canceller, that's why I also run 3 Kaijus because there are some cards that just can't out like Noir. Some people do play Dragoon, and I just use the Kaijus to out them. And the one on the side, which probably should be in the main deck. But that's about it for side deck. Nah, shit. Extra deck, 3 Sarahs, pretty standard, best card in your deck. If this is gone, then you can't play. But it's like this just makes all your plays possible. Kalaria and Oedipus. I've been thinking of cutting Kalaria because he doesn't really come up, but I think Oedipus is always needed because she just helps you for game, negates all the face ups, and she just lets you pop one of those for free. I think Oedipus is a really underrated card. I think that card's great. That's all for links. 1 Alamaris. I don't think more than one's needed. You really just need one. It's just more of an extension to push for game. Peningula. I've seen some deck lists run Peningula at 1, but I really think having this at 2 is nice because once they get rid of the first one, or they just beat over it, this is another way to extend because it searches any Traptrix monster. It's just another way to get Sarah. Also, if they send anything if anything is sent to graveyard or banished, you can just take it as material. So it comes up in certain scenarios. 2 Rafflesias. Also, second best card. This is how you make any tribe. You're making Rafflesia first after Sarah because you just play past your hand traps to Gamma and Nip, and it's just the second best card. I've been thinking of trying to make 2 of these sometimes because I recently found out Rafflesia was soft once per turn, if I'm not correct. So it's 1 per copy. Topic Patrick, honestly, I'm cutting this out entirely. I don't think it's needed, and I'd rather just make like a Zeus package for this, like the Zodiacs or the Argus. Gaga Cowboy because time is still a thing. You still need a burn. Redoer because since we have Holitea, it's a non-target, just place it on the top of the deck. So, for example, one of my matchups against Sprite, my opponent, the Sprite player didn't really have a best hand, so I bounced back to the red to the top deck, so he would draw a red for turn and he wouldn't be able to have much follow. And just the Zeus because if you don't have much gas, it's kind of hard to break through boards, and that's about it for the deck.
All right, man. Before you go, I want to appreciate you for giving us a deck profile.
Yes, sir.
Need to get your thoughts post Cyberstorm access. How do you think the format is going to pan out?
Honestly, against like the meta decks, it's kind of hard for Traptrix going second to keep up with it. Because, for example, let's say super heavies, they make their just infinite board negate, and I might main deck Dark Ruler for it, but that's also for Pearlies. I think I'm gonna just start main decking Kaijus because with this format going forward, they're just gonna set up a bunch of negates, and this deck, the main deck cannot out Noir. So if they make Noir on you and you got no out for it, GG's, you lose, go to game 2. So I think with this format going further, Traptrix is gonna struggle, but as long as you add some Kaijus, run Joel at 3, because if you're able to Joel them, you won't instantly lose unless they play pass through it, which some people do. But this format going forward, I think it is going to be a Joel heavy Kaiju format and board figures.
All right, man. One more question. It is banlist season. We don't know when it's coming, but let me get your thoughts, man. What you think is gonna get hit?
Birth should get hit. 100%. Birth needs to get fucking banned. Card's way too fucking broken. Way too fucking broken. I think Birth is just fucking crazy. I think that's any other cards to be banned. Can't think of any at the top of my head. Maybe Diablos too. Diabolos. Diabolos is way too good for. But semi-limit, I think they'll probably semi-limit Fountain. I'm thinking Runerick Fountain. Semi-limit the Runerick cards, but I don't think to one. Realistically, they'll probably semi-limit Fenrir and Unicorn if they don't want to hit Kashtira too much. But if they want to hit it, they'll put Unicorn and Fenrir at 1. Something that I want. People might call me. I'll probably get a call the Bozo for this, but I think Engage should be at either 2 or 3, because the issue with it's like, oh, it's a shit ton of draw power, but Pearly can draw 10 cards a fucking turn, so we can't draw 6. Also, most of the cards on most Sky Striker cards say target, and most things protect themselves from target effects. So honestly, like for example, Pearly's, they can just protect their back row because it can't be targeted. And his honestly, just hack Kashtira because I know how Konami is. The new product, they're not gonna hit it at all. they need to push out product, but for Kashtira, I think ban Birth and just realistically they'll just probably semi-limit the Kashtira monsters and maybe put the field spell 1. But that's all thoughts I have for the ban list.
All right, well, I appreciate you again, Kevin, for the deck profile, man.
No problem,
Best
man.
of luck in your journeys to making Traptrix better.
Yeah. What's up?
Huge shout out to TNJ's Cards and Collectibles again. Links will be in the description for the shop. Please support them. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to advance the game state.
One final thing. Did you pause it? Oh. Shout out to Jose Velasquez. Tell me everything about Traptrix. He's the reason why I won today. Shout out to him.
All right.
All right. Peace.